Let's make way for the GOAT, Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated senior writer, covering the NBA playoffs. He was at Game 1 with Atlanta and Boston. He'll be there Game 2 tonight. Then he heads to the West Coast for a Clippers game and the Lakers Game 3. And Mannix joins us on the program. What did you see in the Draymond Green play?
I understand why the referees threw him out, because it did meet the criteria for excessive. It was, by the letter of the law, a flagrant foul too. But that was one of those moments where I really wish the referees would have shown some discretion there, because we can watch it 50 times on replay and we can see Draymond stepping on Domantas Sabonis. But in the heat of that moment, that play and that sequence doesn't happen unless Sabonis grabs the leg of Draymond Green. And sure, Draymond's got to be smarter. But in that moment, Dan, fourth quarter, close game, Draymond grabs a rebound and is going back the other way to try to put his team up in transition. I just felt there should have been a little bit of leeway to keep Draymond in the game. Give him a flagrant one. Call a technical on him as well. Call a personal foul on him as well. Call anything on him, but just don't toss him out of the game. And I thought it was telling, Dan, when TNT went to Monty McCutcheon, who is the czar of NBA referees, who is always full-throated support of his referees and their decisions. Monty McCutcheon, the first thing he said was, difficult play. Difficult play to make a decision on. So I just wish there had been more of a runway to punish Draymond for what he did, but also keep him in a critical game.
Priors, how does that factor in with Draymond Green in a situation like that?
I'm sure it does. And as we sit here on Tuesday, I certainly will wonder if the NBA decides to suspend him. I suspect not, because I think the NBA, given the benefit of, 12 hours, will probably see what everyone saw, which is a bang bang moment where Draymond, got tangled up, and intentionally, by the way, he was grabbed by Sabonis, and the NBA will decide not to suspend him. But look, Draymond is not going to get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to these types of plays. He's got too much of a history of doing it for the referees to show him that kind of respect.
Bigger picture here. Steph's never been down 0-2 in a playoff series. Now you're going back home. Now you got to win the next two to put the pressure on Sacramento. Who would you bet on in this situation?
I'm still going to bet on Golden State here, because all season long, the Warriors have been an abysmal road team. The fact they lost 2 games on the road is not surprising. In fact, they played probably better than I thought they were going to play in these first 2 road games, especially when you consider that Andrew Wiggins is going to need time to get back to being Andrew Wiggins. Especially offensively, he's not the player he was before he went out. I don't want to take anything away from Sacramento, because I came on the show and was less than bullish about their chances of doing anything in the playoffs. They defended in Game 2. They haven't defended for most of the season. They defended in Game 2. De'Aaron Fox, he took the challenge that Mike Brown gave him to chase Steph Curry around, and he has run with it, literally. And he has been really effective at defending him. Same with Davion Mitchell. Kevin Huerter, a lot better than I thought he was going to be defensively. And offensively, they're just them. Like, they're putting up points and they're getting the ball out and they're running. So I don't want to take anything away from Golden State, but I'm more confident in Sacramento's or Golden State's eventual ability to win on the road than I am Sacramento. Sacramento doesn't have to be clear. Like, they can just win all their home games and it can be over. But I think Golden State's going to win these next 2. And I think we're going to come back to Sacramento in a Game 5, someplace that Golden State has been 50 times during the, Kerr, Curry, Thompson, Green era, and a place that Sacramento hasn't been before. So I'm still confident, or I still believe in Golden State, but it's an uphill battle now. Got to win 4 of the next 5, and this Sacramento team is not just happy to be here.
Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated senior writer. couple of weeks ago, I think you were ahead of the curve. You said you thought the Lakers were going to win the West. And feels like now there's some people on the bandwagon. Yours truly. I like the team. I thought Pelinka did a wonderful job at the trade deadline. They thankfully didn't get Kyrie, but they have a good roster. They have a good team. And now we look at this team against a banged-up Memphis team. You're going to see them in Game 3 in L.A., but how do you assess the Lakers now?
I do love when you're joining my bandwagon.
Yes, it's rare.
That makes me happy. Ricky Rubio's
This
next.
is going to come back to bite me because I joined you on the Laker bandwagon.
100%. I've just always been a believer that you should believe what your eyes are telling you, right? And since the trade deadline, the Lakers are 18-9 or no 19-9 after that Game 1 win. They won 6 of the last 7 going into the playoffs. Yeah, the play-in game sucked. Like they didn't look good. They were lucky to get past Minnesota in that 7-8 game, but I look at that as more the exception than the rule of how the Lakers have been playing. They've got depth. Like Austin Reeves going for 23, including 14 in the fourth quarter. That's a great performance, but that's what Austin Reeves been doing the last couple of months. Like his confidence is at like a Kobe level right now. I mean, he's just out there shooting and playing freely, and I don't think that's something that can't be duplicated over the rest of this series and the rest of this postseason. Sure, Rui Hachimura probably not going to go for 29 in Game 2, but he's a pretty solid guy. And if you're going to leave him wide open, his numbers on catch and shoot threes have been really good the last couple of years. And that's all the Lakers are asking to do. Yeah. Just stand out there, be open, and make catch and shoot threes. Look, the Lakers won Game 1. Was LeBron like the 4th best player on the floor at that point? He took 1 shot in the fourth quarter of that game. So, like, you can say Rui Hachimura is going to come back down to earth. Well, LeBron's got another level that he's going to go to. And that doesn't even touch Anthony Davis, who, like, yeah, Anthony Davis gets that stinger at halftime, and I'm watching the ABC halftime show, and, like, they're just burying him. Like, it's over. Anthony Davis, oh, God, he's made of glass, and he's got to prove himself. And here we go again with Anthony Davis. He comes out of the locker room and is the best player on the floor in the second half of that game. So, look, the Ja Morant injury obviously changes everything for Memphis. They might get swept if Ja Morant can't play the rest of these games. But moving forward, like if you're not looking at the Lakers, a team that can defend, a team that shoots the three now, that has depth in scoring, that in virtually every series, maybe every series, is going to have the best 1-2 combination on the floor. If you're not betting on that team, you're not believing what your eyes are telling you.
I had Jamal Crawford on yesterday, and I said, how do you think history is going to remember Kawhi Leonard? And he said, not one of the top 5 players regular season, but one of the top 5 players of his generation postseason. How do you think we're going to – I mean, I'm always amazed when he's playing. I'm not amazed when he plays well. And, here you are with the showdown with Kevin Durant, and he shows up big in these moments. How do you think history is going to remember him?
Yeah, that's a good question and a great answer from Jamal, because like Kawhi might never win another All-NBA award again because just not going to play enough games. Yeah. And certainly with this new threshold for awards, he's almost certainly never going to win an award ever because, the days of Kawhi Leonard playing 65 regular season games or more are probably gone. But you get into the playoffs and you could probably count on a couple of fingers, maybe, how many guys you might take over Kawhi in a 7-game series. I mean, his defense has always been his calling card. And you watch Durant in that fourth quarter. What did he attempt? Like a couple of shots, 1 shot, whatever it was, down the stretch. Didn't even get a shot in the final, like 6 minutes or whatever it was. That's huge for the Clippers. And then offensively, the way he's grown really since San Antonio, he's just reliable from 3-point range. Like you give him the ball, he is going to make a positive offensive play out of it. So I agree with Jamal. In these playoffs, I don't know if there's a guy I'd take over him to, I think LeBron still lurks out there as a guy that can change the game all by himself, but both ends of the floor for 30-plus minutes of a playoff game, I think Kawhi Leonard might be the best player in this postseason.
What?
Who would you take? Who can do those 2 things as well as Kawhi Leonard? Offense, defense.
Well, I would have Giannis. Then I would take Embiid over him. Yes, because I know that they're going to be available. Giannis.
This is a tough time to say Giannis is definitely going to be available after he missed the second half of game 1 with that back injury.
He tried to come back.
He tried, but he was hurt, right? I'm not. This isn't meant to disparage.
Kawhi would have missed a month.
Well, Kawhi doesn't get up that high anymore, so it's not. He's not going to be.
You wouldn't take Steph Curry over him
in the playoffs right now. No,
and you wouldn't take LeBron over him.
LeBron's the only one that's close. That's what I said. Like he's, because of everything LeBron can do on both ends when he dials it up. Like Kawhi in a postseason game kind of dials it up all the way right away. Like he's that guy the moment he steps on the floor. But to have a guy that for 30 some odd minutes you can put on the best wing player on the opposing team, who in today's NBA is more often than not the best player on the opposing team, whether it's what he did against Giannis a few years ago when he was in Toronto, what he did, what he's done already in this series against Kevin Durant, what he's probably going to continue to do. I don't know. I think you get enough from him offensively to separate him, from on both ends among the greats in this league.
Good to talk to you as always, Chris.
Welcome to the bandwagon, Dan.
It's going to come back to haunt me. I know it is. Thank you, bud.
You got it.
Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated, senior basketball writer. He's going to take Kawhi. I just never know if Kawhi's going to be available. Now, he's great in the postseason, but I just don't know if he's always going to be available in the postseason. Would I take LeBron over him? Yeah. But I know LeBron's going to be there. Steph Curry, yes, I know he's going to be there. Giannis, yes. I would take Embiid now.